I have in front of you the usage percentage rates of all the Pokemon from Gen 3 OU from the month of November, aka like last month. This was updated a few days ago. And the most popular Pokemon by people on the ladder is Tyranitar. It was on 47% of every single team known to man. Wow, who would have guessed? Mr. I show up, me set up Sandstorm, me best Pokemon in the game, so me get used all the time. I know this probably sounds a little crazy to you, but yeah, Tyranitar everywhere. Fun fact, in November, there was 30,000 less Gen 3 OU battles than October. Okay, so next here is Metagross, Swampert, Skarmory. These are, in fact, the same exact Pokemon in the same order as October was, too. And they have basically the same exact usage rates. Metagross was 37% on all teams, Swampert 34%, and Skarmory 32%. I said this last time when I did this. I personally think Skarmory, it feels like it's the number 2. Like, I just see this thing everywhere. It's the primary spiker. Spiker is like, behind Sand, I would say the best form of passive progress in the game. Skarmory doesn't really die anything, but I guess people really like the offensive utility that Metagross provides with agility. You know, those choice band Houdini sets, and then you got Mr. Oh, you want a Dragon Dance with Tyranitar? Oh, you want to go for agility Metagross? A Dragon Dance with Salamence? Aerodactyl? Oh, you want to try and win the game with skill at the end? Well, I've got Swampert for you. That's honestly, I think, the best thing about Swampert. It does a lot of things, but I just like how you could sit in Swampert and stop all these stupid, just idiots just cheesing the game. So thank you, Swampert, for your sacrifices. Salamence, 29% usage, Gengar 28, and Blissey 26. This was also just like the previous tier, about the same exact numbers as the month prior. People have a lot of faith in Salamence being a mix attacker and Dragon Dance sweeper. I actually polled you guys. Oh man, you guys were not happy with each other's opinions because there was a big disagreement in my community, at least, between who is the superior Dragon Dancer, Tyranitar or Salamence. Well, apparently a lot of people, they must like the Dragon Dance Salamence a lot, because if you were using this thing for only mix attacking purposes, I do not believe it would be this high. So perhaps they're just using both of them on the same team. Why not? Then Gengar is here. I was kind of sleeping on Gengar before, but I've been using it a lot lately, and I think my thing is I like Hypnosis and Will-O-Wisp. I can't stand missing them, so I just use all the super effective type coverage moves, and this is your spin blocker. If you're really cool and sweaty, you could catch a Metagross trying to blow up your Skarmory or something, then you make them look dumb. And then I'm not going to talk about Blissey, so we'll move on to the next tier. Okay, the first 7 Pokemon, the first top 3 tiers, these guys are basically all exactly the same in the exact same order. This next tier, it's a little bit different. So we got from 25 to 20% usage rate, Celebi, Zapdos, Dugtrio, Snorlax, and Suicune in that order. Celebi was about the exact same as well. It's just, you know, really good utility mon. Leech Seed can ruin something like that pink blob of destruction. Calm Mind, Swords Dance, Baton Pass, you know the drill. Zapdos, really good special attacker, but they have certain problems with a certain somebody. But check this out. These 4 Pokemon right here after Celebi, all 4 of them actually saw less usage percentage rate than the previous month. All 4 of them. And the most different thing is that Dugtrio and Suicune have actually switched spots entirely. Before it was Suicune, Snorlax, and then Dugtrio barely making it in this tier. And if you remember me 2 seconds ago, I just told you that all 4 of these Pokemon have seen less usage. So that just means that Suicune is... people are losing faith. They're losing faith in the best boost sweeper in the game. I polled you guys on that one. My audience, very, very... yeah, a lot of people swing towards Suicune. Calm Mind Suicune being the best sweeper in the game. If you want my wrong opinion, I would say yes. A lot of people, they get very mad. They actually believe that Dragon Dance Tyranitar is the superior sweeper in the game, but maybe not of last month. Suicune has been dying. Very shocking news to me. I am a Suicune believer. Up next, from 20 to 15% usage rate, it's Magneton, Aerodactyl, and Starmie in that order. This was also the same as the previous month. But Aerodactyl and Starmie actually rose a little bit. They are catching up to Magneton. Aerodactyl almost overtook Magneton. Starmie went up by about a whole percentage point, and Aerodactyl was like 1.5. So I guess maybe people are starting to believe in the stupid late game rock slide cringe flinch shenanigans that I've been saying for quite some time. I think Aerodactyl's still a bit too low. I think it should be like a few spots higher, around like where Zapdos is, in my opinion. It's every time it shows up, it just causes so much like anxiety and grief. Like, oh, am I gonna lose the whole entire game right now because my opponent outplayed me? I don't know. Let's find out. But yeah, Magneton being high doesn't really, I guess, surprise me. I think Magneton is better in laddering than tournaments. In a tournament, somebody can see it, you're bringing a Magneton. Magneton's kind of like a counter meta Pokemon. As you can see, Skarmory's number 4. It's kind of everywhere. So you can just kind of, on the ladder, safely slap a Magneton on your team and probably kill a lot of the Metal Birds of Destruction and enable like a physical offensive team. I myself was using Starmie a little bit last month, although I shied away a little bit from the defensive Starmie one, and I was just using just a raw dog, just Surf, because I hate Hydro Mist, Psychic, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, just fast, super effective damage, and it's actually a lot better than I thought. If you can eliminate the enemy Blissey, or if they just don't have one, woo! But I mean, if you can do it or not run into that problem at all, Starmie feels really, really good. It feels like it's actually like it should be up here, but you know, Blissey has this way of ruining all my evil plans. In the next tier, from 15 to 10%, we have a bit of a struggle for power. So these two pairs of Pokemon right here that we're looking at, they got swapped. So in October, it went Claydol, Jirachi, and then Fortress, and then Jolteon. Now it's Jirachi, Claydol, Jolteon, Fortress. And I'm okay with this. First of all, Claydol's sentiment fell a little bit. Maybe they're relying on the defensive Starmie to do the rapid spinning. Jirachi went up by 1 spot. Before, I was saying that Jirachi is one of the biggest sleepers in all of Gen 3 OU. So I guess we're moving in the right direction. People are starting to realize that, this thing doesn't die. It sets up Calm Mind, substitutes. Me have a big problem with this. Me did not bring Doug Trio. You kill everything on my team, not good. I'm actually kind of surprised Jolteon went up this high. And it's higher than all these Pokemons. I mean, it's really fast. It's got Baton Pass, you know. I guess because Speed Pass got banned a while back, you know, we're relying on Jolteon as being literally the fastest Pokemon in the game that can use Baton Pass. And, you know, Fortress right here, it's the not coolest rapid spinner, apparently. What makes Fortress interesting is it has spikes and rapid spin. It can blow up too, but Claydol can do that too. And Claydol doesn't get absolutely hard-walled by Gengar in the way that Fortress does. I literally put Zap Cannon on my Fortress for Gengar, and I will tell you right now, it didn't work. Judging by the numbers, this next tier is basically the Pokemon to be deemed the least powerful in OU, right? So we briefly talked about Fortress, so I'll do Heracross next. While I'm talking about Heracross, I'll compare it to Medicham, because I actually polled you guys between these two Pokemon, and my audience deems Heracross to be the better Pokemon. It was actually a bit of a landslide. At the time of recording this, Heracross won that poll by like 80 to 20%. People, I'm assuming they just believe in Sub, Salac, Berry, Swords Dance, Megahorn. I kill everything on the entire planet. I am one of those people. The drawback is it's not free. It's a bit difficult to set up. You got sand spikes. You can get roared out by your favorite enemy in the world, Skarmory, things like that. But don't sleep on Medicham. Even though it lost that poll by a lot, Medicham has completely destroyed me plenty of times. You know, it's a good counter lead Pokemon. Brick Break kills Tyranitar. A Banded Focus Punch kills Skarmory. You know, they might want to stay in thinking that, oh, they might have a Magneton, or I don't care about the Magneton. No, you died with a Banded Focus Punch. Oh, you switch into a Gengar for the fighting type attack? Okay. You switch in Gengar, you click Will-O-Miss, you realize you made a mistake because you missed, and then you realize that the Medicham was never banded to begin with, and you click Shadow Ball, you die. That's happened to me a few times. I mean, if that situation happens, you're down a Gengar, then they can still kill your Skarmory, your Tyranitar, obviously Blissey, a Snorlax. Like, this thing can cause a lot of damage. It's not really fast, but it's fast enough to kill the slow, really scary Pokemons, right? So that's the Heracross Metacham debate for now, at least. And what might be more interesting than that is the Charizard Gyarados debate. So I actually polled you guys on that too. And my audience actually thinks that Gyarados is better than Charizard. At the time of me recording this, Gyarados won that poll by about 35%. A lot more people believe in Gyarados, which is interesting because a lot of people, I've never actually heard this before, but people say that Gyarados is a fraud. I don't know why, but that's what they're saying. Charizard believers are actually rising up quite a bit. The Gyarados and Charizard saw more usage percentage rates in November than October. Charizard was a bit more than Gyarados. Gyarados was only a little bit. Charizard went up by like a whole point. And what's funny is Charizard, I also pulled you guys between Charizard and Moltres. And Charizard was once again, it was the victor. And as you can see, there's a bit of a gap right here in popularity between Charizard and Moltres. Moltres is almost down here with the UUBL guys. So people, they've been loving Charizard. That's what I've been noticing. Some people sleep on it. Some people really believe in it. It's a really good mixed attacker. Some crazy maniacs out there run a belly drum set. I would never, ever try that one. But if you're a little loco de cabeza, you could do that. But I think it's just a really good, mixed attacker. It's low key kind of good for the big five. Sub. You could have Focus Punch for Tyranitar Blissey. You could have Beat Up straight up. That happened to me one time, and I just lost the whole battle. Flamethrower for Skarmory. HP Grass for Swampert. That kind of stuff. Gengar's made out of paper mache. A Flamethrower would take care of that. Oh, you can use Fire Blast, whatever. So yeah, that's a notable thing in this update is what I've noticed from my audience and these numbers is Charizard. A lot of people like Charizard. Then we got the Green Brothers right here of Flygon and Breloom. Their usage rate was about the same. Their placement, I believe, is the same. Flygon, defensive dude guy. I think it's better defensively than offensively, but I've been kind of cooked by a few offensive ones. I've literally seen some roll up with Earthquake, Fire Blast, Dragon Claw, and Giga Drain. That person really hated fighting Swampert. Breloom, I've actually tried Breloom. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. It might come out later, but I've tried the lead Breloom thing, and it's kind of hit or miss. If you're faster than the opponent and they don't have a Lumberry, oh man, you can debilitate a Pokemon with Sleep, get behind sub, start punching people in the face. Might kind of like it. Raikou fell a little bit. Raikou fell by about 1.5% usage. It was actually looking like a real OU threat before. Like it was just rising up the ranks out of nowhere. Now it's kind of falling back down a little bit towards the UBL direction. I do not know why. And then you got Milotic, who is just stall, recover, refresh. It's just a decent mixed wall, I guess. I don't like fighting that thing. And we already talked about Moltres. Moltres has been having what the kids would call its lunch eaten by Charizard. It's kind of better defensively. It can have Will-O-Wisp, but as I briefly talked about with Gengar earlier on the Metacham example, you're gonna miss. So why do you have it? So the next tier, 5 to 2% usage rate in OU. So these are basically the most popular, aka best UUBL Pokemon, right? And those were the weakest OU. These must be the strongest BL ones, right? That makes sense. And I don't know if I point this out right, but Raikou is deemed to be the best one. It is the most popular one. And speaking of that, I actually polled you guys on that one as well. And it was a poll to see who was the best BL Pokemon. And it was between Raikou, Registeel, Kingdra, and Regice, the top three right here. And it went Raikou, number one, that makes sense. But number two is actually Kingdra by a little bit of a teeny tiny bit margin over Registeel. But as you can see, it's a little bit backwards. These two, they're in contention. I think there's a big gap between them and Raikou. Like if this was a BL tier list, I think Raikou would just be S, and these guys would be below him. And Regice, who was only a little bit behind in Kingdra, in the poll, like almost nobody voted Regice. It was like 4% from the time me recording this. Nobody believes in Regice. I actually used Regice myself. And I think my biggest problem with it is I get it's a cool alternative to Blissey. It's just the sand, the spikes. the ice defensive typing. I mean, you have a massive special defense stat, which is cool, but like it's very difficult to kind of keep this dude alive. So that's why. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but when I was using it, just slap explosion on this thing's not. It's not gonna be in it for the long haul. Then you have Porygon that rose up a little bit, which I don't like because I don't like Porygon. Porygon's just basically another Blissey. It's the BL Blissey. And then we have shocking developments, guys. We have Cloyster. If you don't know, Cloyster's OU. And in the last time I did this thing in October for the October rankings, Cloyster was being outdone by both Raikou and Registeel. It's getting worse, guys. Now it's getting outdone by... Before it was 2 BL Pokemon, now it's 5. You got Raikou, Registeel, Kingdra, Regice, and now you got BL Blissey beating you. So I think it's only a matter of time. I mean, I don't know how much they actually pay attention to this and if they care enough to change it. But at this rate, Cloyster will be falling to BL. I mean, if you didn't know anything about anything and just looked at this picture, you would think that it's totally BL. But it's OU right now. Then there's Smeargle. Ugh. I mean, you don't have to worry about Dragon Dance Baton Pass, so that's cool. I fought a crazy Smeargle one time. This thing had Spore. I know I never heard of Spore, but it had Spore. And then it had Substitute, Knockoff, and Leech Seed. It was actually really, really annoying. You should go try that out. Then you got Hariyama. I'm a Hariyama believer. There's some people that are saying it should be OU out there. Not quite. Not yet, at least. I mean, look at all these dudes. You got, dude, BL Blissey's beating you right now, right? So you got some work to do, but I can see it. I mean, it is arguably the best knockoff user in the game. Knockoff pretty good because it seems like everything's running leftovers because of Tyranitar, right? And if you're not running leftovers, well, then at least you'll get rid of a choice band or a berry or something. Knockoff is like one of the few like absolutely safest things you can do because... nothing's immune to it. It doesn't really do any damage, unfortunately, but it's okay because the power level was not too crazy high in Gen 3. So by you just simply removing leftovers, I mean, the longer the game goes on, then the more dividends that's going to pay by you using knockoff. Then you have Houndoom. In my opinion, I don't think it's bad, but I never really see it, so I don't have an opinion. If I'm trying to pursuit trap somebody, I'm just going to use Tyranitar. Vaporeon is next. I've seen this thing with like sub Baton Pass before. That's kind of it. Ludicolo, I guess it was deemed the inferior Rain Dance Swift Swimmer. I'm surprised the gap is that big between these two. They're kind of doing the same thing. They both have phenomenal typing. Dragon Water at this point in time. You're only weak to Dragon, so oh no, watch out for Kingdra. Yeah, I mean... Watch out for Salamence. But if Kingdra has a Rain Dance up, you'll just kill Salamence with an Ice Beam. So nothing really threatens it. So if you can get that one perfect turn Rain Dance and you've eliminated, the enemy Blissey, which there's a lot of them out there, unfortunately. And I would say probably after that, in my opinion, the biggest threat would be like Suicune. I've actually stopped a few Kingdras myself if they're not running Hidden Power. And even if they do, with enough Calm Minds, you can stop it depending on your spread. And... next is Blaziken. I was kind of not really a Blaziken believer last time I did this video, but then I literally got done recording a battle earlier today, and I got 6-0'd. And don't worry, I'm going to upload it. You're going to see it, but you're not going to know when it's going to come out, so you're going to have to stay on your toes. Just know that it did happen. So Blaziken, firefighting, what do you know? It's actually... it's actually pretty good. That's why they invented Infernape and Emboar. I'm just kidding. Emboar's not a real Pokemon. Then you got Regirock. Oh, that's another one. I pulled you guys on that one too. Poor Regirock. Nobody believes in this guy. It goes Registeel, Regice, Regirock in the eyes of my community. In my opinion, I don't have an opinion. I've used Registeel and Ice before. I got to try out Rock because I feel like Rock would be better than Regice, because you can curse, right? And speaking of curse, you got Dusclops with that curse. Dusclops, I could see it being a good BL Pokemon. It's really tanky. It just doesn't really have a lot of HP, and obviously sand, chip, and all that good stuff, so it can be kind of a bit clunky. I don't even really know how to use Dusclops, so let's move on to the next tier. Now from 2 to 1%, this tier is basically the not so good BL Pokemon. These ones we're kind of starting to get into obscurity, but you know, you still see them from time to time, like Machamp. That thing is really strong. I think it's actually slightly underrated. I think it's more appropriate to put it in this tier. Sceptile, don't really ever see that. I don't really have a good enough opinion, but it is fast and has Leech Seed. It's if you're fast and you have Leech Seed, that's always good, but I've yet to see it really threaten me. Alakazam, what's noteworthy about this thing, and it was like this in the last video too, is that there's a massive gap between Alakazam and, as you can see, Espeon right here. And I would say the biggest difference between the two is Alakazam has Encore as opposed to Espeon's Baton Pass, you know? Why use Espeon Baton Pass when you could use Celebi? Alakazam can beat a Suicune in a one-on-one. You just Encore them, they can keep going for Calm Mind, whatever, you just keep blasting them away. So you can kind of screw over some enemy setup users because Alakazam's still pretty fast. So I think Alakazam should be a little bit higher. Umbreon, I would definitely put a little bit higher. That thing is unkillable. Slacking, I would also put a little bit higher. That's just my opinion. Slacking, it can anything live a hit from this thing? Like, I'm not even sure if Registeel could live like a Focus Punch. I'm not sure. Venusaur, you know, Breloom, kind of more preferred because of the accuracy over, you know, Sleep Miss. Dragonite, poor thing's getting its job robbed by AI. I mean, Salamence. Then you have Jinx. I'm surprised it was this low. Like, Dragonite, Venusaur, that makes sense. But Jinx, like, that's a fairly, like, not too crazy out of the blue lead. You just put something to sleep. You can Calm Mind. Ice Beam Psychic's pretty decent offensive coverage. I've even gotten caught by a lead one that had Perish Song and Mean Look before. Glalie, I believe, fell a little bit in usage, which is interesting because it was an NUBL Pokemon. Still is. And still technically one of the most underrated Pokemon in the whole game, but no one's really using it. Steelix, I've learned, is actually works pretty good in conjunction with Gyarados. I don't want to explain too much of why, but pretty much they cover each other's weaknesses. Gyarados, the offensive dude, Steelix, the defensive dude, and they kind of work together. But as you can see, Gyarados is going to its lunch eaten by Charizard now. Who would have thought? Scizor, I'm surprised Scizor is this high, honestly. I don't think I really ever fight Scizor. It's got Baton Pass, but you can't even speed pass that thing, so technically it's worse than before. So you got Swords Dance, I guess, but that's kind of it. Marowak, I'm not surprised it's here. Did you guys know in the beginning of the year, if I did this thing, like at the beginning of 2025, Marowak would have been like around here where Regice is. It's fallen a lot because of the ban of Speed Pass, and I do not feel bad at all for it. Gardevoir, we don't talk about Gardevoir around here. Gardevoir and the BL Blissey, I am not the biggest fan of. Weezing's all right. I guess this is an appropriate spot. Haze, Will-O-Wisp, Levitate, that's cool. Executor, Eggy, I thought it'd be a little bit higher. I mean, it's probably the best sunny day person. You just set it up and Solar Beam, Hidden Power Fire is pretty good coverage. Arcanine and Misdreavus. These are two UU Pokemon. These are basically the best UU Pokemon. I guess people like Arcanine because it's kind of good defensively with Intimidate. And then Misdreavus, what people do is they use it on those really disgusting defensive Superman teams. It's just a Perish Trap person goes for like rest, heals up, or whatever it's got to do to heal up. Maybe it could catch a Wish, Aromatherapy, whatever, something from Blissey. I hate Blissey. Moving on. Okay, from 1 to half a percentage point of usage. Now we're starting to fade into obscurity. I've got some interesting opinions about some of these guys. Arnaldo, I could see that because I don't really ever see it. Articuno, I think, is a little bit underrated because if you use this thing, whenever I see an Articuno, it's always on a defensive Superman team. And Articuno has Heal, Bell, and Rest and Roar. So it can feel more annoying to bring down than the enemy Zapdos and Moltres, which you wouldn't expect, but that's the experience that I've had with that thing. Camerupt, I could see that. It does hit insanely hard. I mean, Fire Blast, Earthquake, Explosion. It's just really slow. And, you know, it's just really, really slow. Donphan, there's just better rapid spinners, man. I mean, it's kind of just a much worse version of Claydol. You are not weak, or you aren't immune to spikes like Claydol is. Claydol has Explosion. Claydol can have special attacking moves for like Gengar or whatever, or Salamence Flygon. So it's okay. Donphan does have a lot of physical defense. It's just Claydol's probably better. Not probably, I would say it is better. Linoon is... I went on a bit of a Linoon arc, as some of you probably already know. I think it's good. The Belly Drum Linoon, it's just, you definitely need some support. You're going to need screens or something. I was using the Hypnosmith, Memento, Gardevoir. You need some kind of help with this guy. But if you can get the help, I mean, it is strong enough to kill a lot of things in OU, except Swampert. I don't know why. Swampert, despite it not even resisting extreme speed, you being at max attack, it just doesn't die. That's how strong Swampert is. And I don't talk about Skarmory. Electrode, I could see that. Electrode's not really the dumbest idea ever, as you might think it is, because it's behind Ninjask, the fastest Pokemon in the game. So you can basically clear weather with Rain Dance, and then you have Thunder, right? You can outspeed the opponent, go for a stab Thunder, and it has Explosion as well, because it's the fastest Pokemon known to man. So it's not that dumb. Shedinja, kind of cheesy, you know? There's always this one person I keep running into on the ladder from time to time, and their whole team is pretty much revolving around supporting Shedinja. If it works, it works. It's just that if something doesn't work, then this guy's just dead. You have to worry about sand and spikes. Those are usually the two biggest problems, because, you know, they're kind of everywhere. So you're probably going to need something like a Dog Trio to catch the enemy Tyranitar and then trap it in, clear the weather. So you got to do a lot of things to make Shedinja work. So I could see it being around this level. Miltank and Tauros were actually also side by side in the last video I did with these usage percentages. I don't even really know what to say about them, because I don't really ever see them. Ninjask fell a lot from the past when it used to be able to speed pass. I do not feel bad about this thing at all. Notice there's a big gap between Marowak and Ninjask. Marowak is at least somewhat self-sustainable with its thick club. It's insanely slow, but whatever. Ninjask is just a weak, febile mosquito that you just slap and instantly ruin its whole life. That's kind of how it is nowadays, and I don't feel bad at all. I don't even know how you would use Ninjask. Maybe just slap a Choice Band on, and that's kind of the best you can do. Volt Absorb dude, Water Absorb dude. There's other Water Absorb dudes. You got the Vaporeon. You actually have Quagsire down here too, if you're into that. These are more like UU Pokemon. I think they're pretty good in UU. Sableye. That thing, when it shows up, it's pretty much ubiquitous with pain, if I had to describe it like that. It's always on like a defensive stall your team, because it has knockoff like Carrion, but it has recover and stuff. It doesn't have any weaknesses. It has really bad stats, but pretty much, you know, I one time saw one with Psych Up, and it copied like all my Suicune's Calm Minds, and then bad things happened to David. It was not a good time. But I get, it feels like it should be better than this, and it feels like I see it more often than this too. Was it Sableye, or was it Umbreon, or was it both? I'm not sure, but one of these like stall Pokemon used Psych Up on me, and I was not happy about it. Blastoise. I didn't even know Donphan was that much more popular than Blastoise as a rapid spinner. Yeah, Blastoise kind of gets cooked by a lot of things out there. Cradilly, I would thought would be higher, because, you know, Curse, it has suction cups, you know what I mean? Like, it's immune to sand. You're not gonna have a fun time. I really think Cradilly should be a lot higher. That thing is basically kind of like a Registeel. You know, it's immune to sand. It sets up. It's tanky, rest, whatever. You can't even roar this thing out. You don't even have to wait till the end of the game. So I think that's a bit of a sleeper pick. So I think the most underrated Pokemon in this obscure tier would be Articuno. From my experience, Linoon, although that's kind of difficult to set up, Cradilly and Sableye. The rest of them, nah, they're okay. We are now at the bottom of the proverbial iceberg, if you will. This is basically the Shadow Realm. These are the meme Pokemon. If your Pokemon didn't make this, then just know that you're trying to either be the greatest genius ever and invent something that's never been seen before, or you're trying to lose. I barely have seen any of these Pokemon. Swellow. In theory, it's all right. Crobat, I used it one time on Halloween. It's just a much worse version of Aerodactyl. Rhydon, I don't really know. We already talked about Espeon, I guess. You're better off just using either a Celebi or an Alakazam. We have the only physical attacking ghost Pokemon being Baynet. Although it is cool, it has a high attack stat, but I don't really know where it would be really good for. Like, oh, I really wish my Gengar could have a strong Shadow Ball. Oh, okay. Oh, Baynet. No, I've never really seen that. Amistar can clear weather, spikes, all that. Although it's a UU Pokemon. I think it's a wonderful UU Pokemon. Typhlosion, the not so cool fire starter, Blaziken and Charizard. You know what I mean? Blaziken firefighting, I already talked about that. It literally 6-0'd me. Charizard is immune to spikes, so not really sure what you can get out of having Typhlosion. Lunatone, I thought Lunatone would be higher. That's one of the more underrated ones here because, you know, you're immune to sand and spikes and you've got Calm Mind. It's sort of like Espeon, right? But I would say with more utility in the environment because of sand and spikes. Nidoking, never seen that. Poliwrath, never seen that. Quagsire, nope. Ursaring, maybe. It's kind of just like it's like a Tauros sort of thing. It just hits really hard. That's it. But I mean, dude, if I'm picking a normal type Pokemon that hits really hard, that's the whole entire purpose. I'm picking Slacking, honestly. Dodrio, I lost to a Dodrio today. I'm not making that up either. Shiftry, it's got Explosion. Tentacruel, I saw it like one time ever. Pikachu, I don't think I saw that last month. Entei, I think I did see that last month, and I still lost. The Entei produced 0 results, but it was on a winning team that defeated me. Jumpluff, I'm so glad that Jumpluff sucks. Ah, man. A fast grass Pokemon that can put you to sleep and have Leech Seed, that's just scary. I mean, imagine if Sceptile could put you to sleep. Oh my god, dude. Forget it. Muck. Hey, back when I played UU, I did like Muck towards the end of that whole arc in ROA Spotlight. It's got Curse and really it's basically like a Snorlax, although you would never pick this over Snorlax. But if you want to be a meme lord, that's the go-to pick in my opinion. Aggron, man, I'll never get over the fact that this thing is not a pseudo legendary. Granbull is like, it's kind of like these other normal Pokemon. I think it's better than Ursaring because it has Thunderwave and Heal Bell. Roselia, it has spikes. It's really good in random battles, but I don't know about that. Hitmonlee, dude, like a month or two ago, there was like Hitmonlee believers out there. I'm not really sure where they are now. Then you have an Ampharos is the final Pokemon that barely made the cut in a 0.25% usage rate. And then that's all, folks. So the most notable things here would be Chansey, Kadabra, Slowbro, and Zangoose are all BL. None of them are ranked. I think Chansey's definitely the best one because I think Chansey's in the running for being the second best special wall after Blissey because Blissey's overpowered. Kadabra, yeah, no. Slowbro's actually good, but it's kind of like, why am I going to pick Slowbro when I can pick Suicune and then Zangoose? Dude, there's a million normal type Pokemon here. There's better options, you know? Final takeaways here is basically the top 10 Pokemon, more or less, have remained unchanged. Doug Trio is now cooler than these two setup sweepers. Jirachi moved up a little bit. My community says Gyarados is better than Charizard, but the community disagrees. Raikou is falling back to UUBL slowly. I don't even know how Cloyster isn't UUBL. Slacking is a menace to society. And you better watch out for Ampharos. See ya.